Terrific. So we are all set, and I will, here's our agenda for this evening for those of you that are wondering. And Sharon, we are all set for you to do your magic.
Okay, thank you. I'm calling to order the Aberdeen Architectural Conservation District Commission public hearing to order at 4:03 on Thursday, April 9, 2026. Commissioners present are Helen Pillsbury, Ed Bradenberg, Kirsten Hoffman, and Sharon Cayley. Today, the Commission will be holding a public hearing to review applications in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. We are conducting this meeting online to ensure public access to the deliberations of the Aberdeen Architectural Conservation District Commission. The public may access this call through telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. We will repeat these instructions throughout the hearing. We will begin today with application.
Meeting minutes, Sharon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, meeting minutes.
And
We will review the meeting minutes of March 31. I'm sorry,
12th.
yeah, March 12, 2026. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them?
Yes.
Yes.
And Sharon, just for the record, because I know the agenda says otherwise, we were not able to complete the meeting minutes for the subcommittees in
Did, yes, yes.
in, our assistant's absence. So I will have that for you at the next hearing.
That will be fine. So in this case, we are only covering the meeting minutes that we discussed at the full Aberdeen Commission meeting. Any additions or alterations? Helen?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, Ed, you see anything you wanted to alter?
Nope, looks great.
Okay, and Kirsten? All right, I would entertain a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, the meeting minutes are accepted. Moving on to today's matters, we will begin with application number 26.0762, 1930 Beacon Street. The proposed work, new business signage.
Adam, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah,
yes.
I can. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. All right. I know, do I share a screen? There you go. Awesome.
Good.
All right. So this is for Far Out Ice Cream. They're moving to the 1930. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's going to be one set of letters that say Far Out that is here on the screen. We can go to the next page. It's the installation method. We're going to be going into the concrete facade of the building. And we're also going to try to reuse whatever holes that are already there. And we will patch and fill whatever holes are left from previous signage. This is a blade sign. It's going to be externally illuminated with two spotlights that'll shine down on it. And this is the installation or the fabrication method for the blade sign. This is a set of acrylic letters, non-illuminated, that will go underneath the Far Out lettering. Again, we'll be trying to reuse as many holes as we can that's already on the facade from previous signage, and we'll be patching and filling whatever holes are left from previous signage. So this is the layout for what the storefront will look like for the new signage. The blaze sign there on the left, the channel letters that say far out, and then the subcopy, the not illuminated subcopy directly underneath it. This is going to be some window graphics. There's going to be a beige set of text at the top of the window, and the bottom of the window will have a printed foliage motif going on. It's also present at their other location in Brookline. And there you can see what's already there, and then what we're going to be planning on doing. So we're doing all the same signage that Energize had, a set of letters, the non-illuminated subcopy underneath it. If you can notice in there, on their windows, they also have vinyl graphics as well. So we're not doing anything too crazy, nothing different than what was already out there.
Okay, anything else?
That's it on my end.
Terrific. Okay. So commissioners, I just wanted to thank Adam for reaching out to me ahead of time. He consulted me when designing the plan for this project. So we came up with a plan that would be in line with the previously approved signage that you see in this area on the same property, that we've approved multiple signs, and staff is recommending approval as submitted.
Okay, I do see that it replicates the signing arrangement that the previous business offered. But Helen and Ed, you've seen a lot of signs, so let me hear your thoughts.
I agree with staff that this seems good. And actually the applicant answered my biggest questions, which were that there have been a couple of businesses here, so a couple of different sign application installations. So the whole issue of reusing any attachment holes that can be, or patching and filling the ones that are remaining. That was actually my biggest question. But just those flame, and I do see there was like banners on, like gray banners on the lower window of the Energize. So those flame designs, are they kind of like decals that are on the interior that are removable?
Yes, this will all be on the interior, all be
So they're potentially can be changed if needed. So they're not really even a permanent item. Yeah, I don't have any other questions. I think it meets our
and the
criteria.
foliage is die cut in that shape. It'll still be see-through above that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The I just have one quick question. It looks as though the Energize, the sign to the left is a little bit higher. Is that just because that was internally lit, and then the current one will use the same holes and it hangs down so the lights can shine on it? Is that the?
Well, the Energize was just raised up a little bit because of the G that hangs down.
Oh, apologies. I mean the one to the left by the stairs, the one that sticks out.
Blade sign.
Oh,
Yeah.
the blade sign. I'm sorry. Yes, we needed to use the holes that are there, so that matches up to the Energize sign, but our sign hangs lower. I mean, we're still above 8 feet, still above anybody walking into it or anything. But we wanted to try to reuse those holes that are there. Our sign just happens to be the brackets on the top of the sign, whereas Energize was in the middle of the sign.
Perfect. Yeah. It looks like it'll help differentiate it from the Amelia's sign next door too, instead of having them kind of block each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's going to be lower than that. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I have one other question. I couldn't quite get whether you said it's illuminated or not illuminated.
The blade sign will be externally illuminated with some spotlights.
Okay.
And they're going to be, I think they are 4,200. So it's not going to be bright at all. Plus, they'll be on a dimmer.
Okay. And are the letters of the far out, are those illuminated?
Yes. Yep. Those are illuminated.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Kirsten, do you have any thoughts?
No, nothing additional.
All right. I'm prepared to entertain a notion that we accept it as presented.
Public comment, Jen. Public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm always dashing ahead with the public comment.
That's okay.
Okay, I apologize. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. We will repeat these instructions throughout the hearing. We ask that public comments limit themselves to 5 minutes each.
Terrific. Okay. First up we have for public comment is Ava. Ava, go ahead.
Oh, just very quick, not even a minute. I noticed in the illustrations that were provided that the energized storefront has black color on all the masonry elements, those arches, but on the right side it's gray. Are you planning to change the color?
No, we're not. I think that is just from Google Street View. The color is exactly the same. We haven't not painting the exterior. I think it's just the Google picture of it. But yeah, everything stays the same.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ava. All right. Great. So I'm not seeing any other public comment, commissioners, so I will close public comment for this application and turn it back to you for a motion.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that we accept the application for design review as submitted. Are there any seconds?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
I'll get you an approval letter tomorrow, and you should be able to start the work immediately, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Adam.
Thank you.
All right. Next order application is 26.0765 AB, 123 KILSYTH Road.
All right, so we have my friend Gabriella and Eamon.
Hi there, folks. I hope you can hear me. I think I'm unmuted. My name is Gabriella Good. I am a homeowner at 123 KILSYTH Road. I'm representing my condo association today. And I have Eamon Kelly here, who is my husband, but he's also acting as project manager. So I'm happy to present the project if that's helpful. This is to replace a 3-story exterior staircase, which is on the rear lot line of this. This is the view from 123 KILSYTH Road from the KILSYTH Road side.
Gabrielle, you're a little quiet. Is there any way that you can turn up the volume or get closer to the mic?
Yeah, I'll go a little bit closer. Can you hear me now?
It's slightly better, but it's still faint.
I can present, Gabby, if it's better, if you guys can hear me better.
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay. I'll go ahead. I'll present. So starting, we're looking at the front of the house as from KILSYTH Road, looking up at the house. On slide 2, do you want me to just talk through each slide?
Yes.
So as we move on to Gabby, you're going to have to help me with the road here. I always forget.
Yeah, it's Lanark Road. We're on a
Lanark Road. So this is on the corner. We're on the corner of Lanark and KILSYTH Road. We're now looking at the house from the Lanark side. We're talking about the staircase that you can see on the right side of that house. It's the rear staircase of the house. It's also the staircase that's most often used by the tenants. The staircase itself, we can move on to the next picture. We believe it was constructed sometime in the 1990s. Based on the construction techniques, it's in poor shape. It's in very bad shape. It's been flagged by the fire inspector as being out of code, but also in poor and disrepair. So we've been talking with Nick about this since February 2023. And it's been getting worse since then. So we're grateful to be here today to present it. So we just have some more pictures of some more of the, it is a poorly designed, poorly maintained staircase, all wood staircase that has deteriorated over time. So while we're also here, it was brought to our attention that this fence that's existing is not in keeping with the architectural style of the home. So what we do not have plans to replace that fence at this time, but while we are here, we are going to have to remove portions of the fence to bring materials up to the staircase. So we wanted to make sure we presented that section, and Gabby might be able to speak to this a little bit better about her conversations with Nick about this, but to present this portion as well, so that in the future we could replace it with a more appropriate design.
Yeah, and I'll just add in really quickly that like with the fence, it's in bad shape too. It may just come down with construction, we don't know. So we just want to be able to be prepared to replace this fence sooner or later, we don't know, but we want to make sure that we're doing it in keeping with the architectural style.
So here's the site plan that was prepared for us. You can see the house, Lanark and KILSYTH. There's a parking area that's denoted on the right side of the house. That's off-street parking for the units. It is I should have mentioned earlier, it's a 5-unit building.
5 units. 5 units.
5-unit building. And the parking's on that side. So we had some plans done by Momentum Architecture. We can probably scroll through to page like these that we had to draw to get them into the program. We drew the whole house. And so what we're talking about though, we're looking at existing drawings of the house currently with the existing staircase. And then towards the bottom, we'll get to the actual layout if we want to skip to 25, 24, 25. So the design that we came up to is shown here. It has a central staircase to bring it to meet current code requirements for that staircase. We did do our best to try to keep the footprint as small as possible. So we have, instead of dropping supporting beams all the way to the ground, we're trying to support them off the internal beams and using products that are commonly available. The 6 units are divided, as you can see. Each of those doors goes into an individual unit.
Eamon, maybe we can go to materials as well. So the current switchback design staircase is entirely made of wood. We're looking at using materials that would blend into the natural setting a little bit better. And we show those materials down towards the bottom of our deck. You can see this is the proposed design right here. But in terms of materials, we're looking at using black aluminum railing, which would blend into the natural setting. And then for the actual decking, we're looking at using PVC decking in kind of a grayish brown color that matches in with the natural setting really nicely. So we wanted to just make sure that if we're constructing a new structure here, we want it to look distinct from the house so that, people are not confused about when this was put in. And we want it to blend in as much as possible.
Gavin, you mentioned the decking, but what about the supports? What were we thinking for the support columns? Would that be wood or would that also be?
Yeah, Eamon, that would be pressure treated 6x6.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Pressure treated 6x6, and then we would blend it, the color to be, as close as we could after staining it to be as dark as possible and blend in with the trees and the shadows behind it. So some pictures of the railing and the decking color that was chosen.
And then this is just a better look at the fencing that eventually we will replace. And we're thinking just like a dog ear picket fence. We just want to make sure that it's not so distinctly colonial because this is not a colonial house.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Terrific. Okay. So commissioners, you heard the comments from the applicant. I will also say that the applicant has, again, worked closely with me to come up with a design that is appropriate. And so just so we understand, staff is recommending approval with provisos. And the only provisos that I had, and I think Eamon and Gabby mentioned it already, is that they're going to have it a color that will blend in to the background. I'd also recommend, if possible, to possibly plant several arborvitae or a shade tree in front of the stairs to further blend it into the background. And then staff's recommending approval as submitted for the fence when that happens, when and if that happens. And approvals are good for 2 years, which can be renewed upon request. So I will turn it over to you for deliberation and discussion.
Okay, I just have one question, and it's not critical. Is there any way of telling if the original footprint of the porch was this size, or was it the size of the replacement porches that you're about to rebuild?
I think we're currently at the design that we proposed was at 10 foot 6 inches from the house. The existing design was, I think, 8 foot 6 inches. So we're talking about 2 feet, 2
Okay.
feet wider out from the house. The width is very close to the same width that we're there.
Okay.
It's existing.
All right, thank you.
Also acknowledging that the fire code has probably changed since this was originally installed. Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Right, that's my understanding, is that the reason that it's farther from the house is because of fire code safety requirements. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
We also wanted to, because of the recent prowler activity in the neighborhood, we also tried to design a central staircase that would allow, so for currently the switchback design that the house has, the path of travel takes anybody climbing the staircase in front of the windows of the house of each individual unit. So they switch. So it's from somebody in the backyard, it's unclear, or like our neighbors in the backyard, it's unclear if somebody's like there on purpose or if they're just going up to the higher units. And so by making it a central staircase, we're hoping that it's clear delineation so that somebody, at nighttime in those side areas in front of the doors would be easily identifiable as a prowler, or like that was, and it will keep people away from the windows of each of the units.
I wanted to ask about the aluminum. You're saying aluminum railings. Is that, and because there was a comment about that in the staff comments, and I just wanted to check if that meets the criteria for Aberdeen. Can you comment on that, Nick?
Yes. So the Aberdeen recommends materials that would be seen in the neighborhood, and metal, aluminum being a type of metal, I think that would be appropriate. Also acknowledging that this is a utility feature and not a change in the design of the structure. So this more focused on utility, and when those changes have to happen, it's always recommended that they happen at the rear of the property with minimum visibility, which I think this is. But to answer your question, yes. In addition to that, the majority of the exposure will be the pressure treated wood with the aluminum railings, and minimally the PVC decking, which is the deck, and you'll barely see that.
Okay, thank you.
Does
Yeah, and actually, I mean, if you look at the standards and criteria, this is a completely external entity that is completely replaceable. It's not infringing on any architectural detail of the existing house. So it's not changing anything that cannot be changed back in the future or something like that.
It's
So,
reversible. Yes. Yeah.
Good point.
I feel as though the aluminum looks a lot like some of the fences in the neighborhood as well that we've approved.
Right, and the simple style of it is, for whatever it's worth, is similar to the style of the wood railings that are there now.
I should also point out the two sample photos that are shown on that show a 4-inch column, a 4-inch rail. We're using 2.5, which is the smallest post size. So they will even look smaller than those two sample photos that are shown there.
Thank you.
I have sort of a, I mean, not completely related question. What is the purpose of the fence that you mentioned? Is it covering up the garbage cans or?
It is, yeah. It's covering up the garbage cans right now, and it's not in great shape, so we need to, in the short term, reinforce it, but hopefully eventually just replace it with something that is a little bit more appropriate. But yeah, it's covering, I think we have 3 recycling bins and 3 trash cans.
Perfect. Thank you.
So Nick, is that, I think our guidelines, I don't have it right in front of me, say something like the fences are not typical, but they do exist in the district, and when they should materials and style and so on,
Yeah.
be compatible. So do you feel that dog
I do. And
ear, whatever the name
yeah.
of the do you think that's appropriate for? It's actually simpler than the one that's there and less intrusive in a way.
Yeah, and it was actually my idea. So
Okay.
talked about this fence being out of character with the shingle style design of the house. This would be something that you would maybe see in a colonial or something similar style. So this I recommended to Gabby that she submit a fence that is of a simple design, and I think the wood dog-eared fence that she's proposing is much more appropriate.
And it would be a wood fence, correct? Because you sometimes see those
Yes,
plastic fences that are supposed to
which are not
look
allowed
like
in the
wood.
district. Yes.
Yeah. So to make sure about that, the
Yep.
materials. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, unless other commissioners want to add their observations, we can move on to the public comment portion.
Sharon, do you want to talk about landscaping that I recommended?
Oh, I'm sorry, you did say the
Can you-
possibility of camouflaging when the fence portion is replaced, camouflaging that with, I'm sorry, the porch,
Mhm.
camouflaging that with arborvitae or something similar.
Can you show somehow at the photo here or something kind of where that would be located, where those
Yeah.
plantings would be located? Like, is there
Yeah,
a place for them?
let me see. Gabby or Eamon, please feel free to chime in.
I wish I had the drawing. I think before we submitted to the architect, we had a drawing that had the arborvitae in front of it's at the base. If we're looking at the house at the staircase from Lanark, it's going to be in the base to cover up. We had lattice work initially in our drawings because that's what was on the current porch. And Nick pointed out that it would be better to instead of lattice work to cover up the bottom of the porch, to use natural landscaping. So we have at the base where you see lattice work in these pictures, that's where we were talking about using arborvitae to cover up that base. Yes,
Okay,
correct,
thank you.
right there.
And then if you look on the aerial view on Google Street View, you can see there's a little bit of space here that would allow for some tree plantings to happen in this area.
Very nice. Okay, well, arborvitae or something similar, whatever is feasible in that spot. All right, if everyone agrees, we'll move on to public comment. All right, members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. We will repeat these instructions throughout the hearing. Public comment?
I am not seeing any public comment at this time. Going once, going twice. Okay, public comment is now closed for this application, Sharon. I'll turn it back to
Okay,
you.
in that case, then I'd like to move on to entertaining a motion that it be approved with the proviso of planting arborvitae or something similar to camouflage the ground portion of the porch. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Do we need that to be reviewed by staff or?
And the color,
Uh,
I think as well, was that a proviso?
Oh, you mean the black railing?
The color of the decking, I think, was it, Nick, that that in the recommendation?
Ed, Eamon had said that they're going to stain it a darker color. Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I think I
Perfect.
just missed that on the presentation in my comments. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm. Yeah. So take it away, Ed.
Just looking for a second. Yeah.
I'll put forth a motion to approve with the provisos of the landscaping as approved by staff. Is that everything that we
review
have?
by staff?
The review
Everything.
by staff, correct.
We'll second the
I'll second.
motion. All right, I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. The
Terrific.
motion is carried.
Okay, great.
Thank
Gabby,
you.
Eamon, thank you so much for your time and thank you for reaching out ahead of time. As you can see, it makes your lives a whole lot simpler when you talk to staff. So thanks for coming by today. I'll get you your letter tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We now move on to application 26.0733 AB. It's 1-7 Selkirk Road.
Okay. I see. I'm assuming maybe Jeff is going to talk. Jeff, are you going to talk?
Hi, Nick. No,
Hey.
Dennis, how are you?
Dennis, good.
I'm here to answer questions at the end, but Dennis should be on. There's
Okay.
he'll be presenting. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Okay.
see him there.
All right, Dennis. Do you want to do your presentation or you want me just to advance the slides?
I can do the presentation. Probably be a little easier.
Yes, it will
Perfect.
be. Let me just make you co-host. All right, I will stop sharing my screen. Okay, go for it.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Is that up for everybody now?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate it, Nick. So I'm Dennis Greenwood from Sousa Design Architects. I'm here to kind of walk you through 1-7 Selkirk Road. This is a project that's been before the commission previously in a number of different iterations in terms of the site planning as well as the project design. The latest iteration was before the commission back in March of 2024. So I am going to spend a little bit of time going kind of introducing the project just to make sure everyone's kind of familiar and remembers it. And then I'm going to kind of walk through how we left off with the commission in terms of what feedback we still had, what comments we heard, and then how we addressed those, because we believe we addressed all of the comments. So we'll kind of walk you through site plan updates and then exterior design updates, and then open it up to any questions. So on this slide, it's obviously kind of, we have a side-by-side comparison. The following slides, we'll zoom in again on kind of more site-specific stuff and exterior elevation-specific design changes, but really focused on looking at the windows and the entry door designs, maybe coming up with a little bit more uniformity between those and making sure that they fit within the neighborhood context, as well as the large focus was tree preservation, particularly at the corner of Selkirk and KILSYTH roads, as well as a focus on maintaining the existing pudding stone that's on the site, keeping it and reusing it on the site somehow. So here we have the existing site plan. On the left here, you can see it's an existing empty lot. It's a little over 9,100 square feet. Again, we're at the corner of KILSYTH Road and Selkirk Road. There's a little grouping of 4 or 5 trees kind of right at the corner, as well as another larger tree close to the property line here that we worked hard, you'll see in the upcoming slides, to maintain those trees. There's a couple more along Selkirk Road as well. And there is about a 13-foot grade change from KILSYTH Road to the end of our property here, further up Selkirk. And again, I'll kind of walk you through some of the updates on this upcoming slide. We have the existing site photo. So this is on SELKIRK Road looking back towards KILSYTH. And on the lower right here, you can see that's that outcropping of trees I mentioned that we've been working towards maintaining. Right around in this view here is the spot where we're looking to put in a curb cut for 2 parking spaces off of SELKIRK Road. And again, you'll see that kind of in 2 slides on the proposed site plan. Here in the background, right in around the middle of that vacant lot, you can see that putting stone ledge. And the proposal is to utilize some of that ledge and create decorative elements and retaining wall pieces around the proposed parking areas. Here's the view, the existing condition photo from KILSYTH Road. So again, you're looking up, you can see the grade change on the site. Here's the large tree that'll be maintained. The property line is actually further outbound of where the fence is currently located. It's about 8 feet past where it is now. So that tree will be maintained. We're proposing 2 angled parking spaces here off of KILSYTH. And so this was the previous site plan. So the overall project is 4 townhouse units, around 2,800 square feet each, 3 stories. And what we were looking at prior was 1 curb cut about 22 feet off of KILSYTH Road that you would come in, and there was 4 parking spaces here right along the side of that first townhouse unit. A lot of the feedback that we heard was really regarding the streetscape along this corner, right? So we're talking about, we're trying to maintain that the trees and green space along that corner. So what we did was we broke up that parking area. We shifted 2 of these parking spaces up along SELKIRK, which you'll see on the following slide. So again, here you can see how we took those 4 parking spaces, we angled them, so we're able to reduce the area that is dedicated to parking to less than 50% of what it was prior. So we were able to eliminate kind of the drive aisle in between the 2 parking spaces, as well as separate out that walking path. What that did was it preserved 1 more tree here in the corner. It opened all that up. We maintained that area as landscaped green space. And then this tree here, where we were a little worried about soil compaction by sandwiching it between 2 parking spaces, it frees that up as well and makes the tree management plan easier to work with. Along the north side here along SELKIRK, you can see where we added that second curb cut for the 2, to relocate those 2 parking spaces. And what we're also doing is we're reutilizing some of that existing pudding stone that's on the site, the ledge that's in the middle of the site, as these kind of decorative elements on either side as an entry to those parking spaces, and then as a stone retaining wall where we're mitigating some of that grade change for those 2 new parking spaces. So again, we had the concern regarding the streetscape and maintaining of the trees, the desire to retain and reuse the existing ledge on the site, and then there was also some concerns voiced of preference to use non-paved surfaces in those parking areas as well. So we did transition that to a stone dust treatment at those parking areas. And now we're going to focus a little bit on the exterior design. So this was the prior design that we had presented back in 2024. So again, it's 4 townhouse units, around 2,800 square feet each, 3 bedrooms, 3 stories. It does have a gable roof with cross gables at the ends. It had Juliet balconies, which you'll see that was one of the comments, was to maybe look at that and maybe look at an alternate to that. Didn't seem suiting for the neighborhood. So we did receive that feedback. You'll see in the upcoming slide, we removed those. Then a couple other small comments that we received were in looking at the windows themselves and the doors. Again, that kind of ties into, we have 2/1 windows kind of throughout the project. And then at the Juliet balconies, obviously you see, it's a little busier with the muntins. Same thing at those entry doors. So we did look at those 2 pieces. You'll see in the upcoming slides. And the final comment was on the exterior sconces. Seemed a little too contemporary for the building and for the neighborhood. So we did look at that as well. And so what we ended up doing was we removed the Juliet balconies up above. We have the gabled dormers that come out a little bit more contextually suiting for the neighborhood. So the overall massing of the building stays the same. The treatment's the same. We still have Borel channel siding on the lower floor. So we do have that kind of treatment of the first floor, being a little bit more decorative in the treatment and the size of the siding. We do have the window caps at those lower large windows. And then as we go up to the second floor, it's clapboard siding. We do have the 5.5-inch casing and backband detail. Then we have trim between that second and third floor. And then as we transition up, we continue the clapboard on the two flanking sides. And then obviously in the center, we have those gabled dormer pieces. We also changed out the entry doors. So we switched over to a little bit more of a kind of traditional or transitional door where it's, kind of a 1-over-1 design, right? So you have the single pane of glass over that single panel, mahogany door. And then for the sconces, we went to kind of a transitional lantern style light that seemed, again, a bit more suiting for a new building that's fitting into a historic district. So we removed the balconies, those Juliet balconies, in favor of the gabled dormers. We changed out the exterior sconces as well as the entry doors, and those and all the windows now are more uniform with a 2-over-1 appearance. The floor plans haven't changed since the last presentation, but again, that was back in 2024. So just generally speaking, on the page south side here, that's SELKIRK Road. So because of the grade change, each of the townhouses do step up a bit. So we do have steps into each unit. There's a front kind of porch area that's about 6 feet deep and 18.5 feet wide. All the living spaces are on the first floor. So dining, living, and kitchen are on the first floor. The master bedroom suite is on the second floor, again, unchanged. And then on the third floor, the only modification to that would be, obviously, we swapped out the little balcony areas, that shallow Juliet balconies, in favor of those gabled dormer pieces. So again, 4 townhouses, around 2,800 square feet each, 3 bedrooms, 3 stories, essentially same footprint as prior. And here we have the elevations that represent what you saw in the renderings. So I'll kind of skip through these because we talked through all of that piece. This is the end elevation from KILSYTH, but you'll see a rendering of that coming up as well. The rear of the building, the geometry, very similar to the front. We do have rear terraced patio spaces for each unit. And that's the end along the upper side, the north side of SELKIRK. And so here's a view from the corner of SELKIRK Road and KILSYTH Road. So again, what we were looking at and focusing on was really increasing the amount of green space, or maintaining some of that green space on the corner here, which I think was pretty successful in relocating 2 of those parking spaces further up SELKIRK Road. It also, is probably a little bit better for the units too, because these guys have an entry closer to their front door as well. So I think it worked out well in that regard. We are reusing the pudding stone, as mentioned, to create, little benchmark kind of entry pieces at this lower level. And then on the upper parking area, we're going to use that as a retaining wall where we're mitigating the grade changes. And then, of course, you can see, the removal of those Juliet balconies and putting in the gabled dormers. And here's just a couple more views. So hey, in the upper corner, you can see kind of the aerial view. Again, the parking in the upper left is up SELKIRK Road. The parking in the lower right is on KILSYTH Road. And you can see how we're maintaining those existing trees along that corner and minimizing the amount of impact on the parking on the site. And with that, I would open it up to any questions.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, will you just let the commissioners know where the HVAC equipment is going to be installed?
Oh, certainly. So let me go back to the site plan for a moment. So we are anticipating that here we are. So we'd anticipate that it would be here for this unit, for these 2 units, and then over on this side for the other 2.
Will you just remind the commission the materials that will be used for the cladding?
Yes, so we're looking at Borel true exterior siding for the first floor, And then we're looking at a clapboard on the second floor with 4.5 inches to the weather. And then we're looking on the, these smaller kind of accent pieces up above. We have kind of a board and batten with the true exterior trim. Again, around the windows, we're looking at a 5.5 inch casing and a back band. We're looking at historic sills. And on that first floor where we have kind of the taller, more vertical windows, we're looking at a window cap as well.
Okay. And it looks like you changed the doors from the original presentation.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. But we did. Yes. The
Yeah.
entry doors did change.
And the material of the doors?
Mahogany.
Perfect. Okay. Good. I think that is everything on my checklist. So Dennis, thanks for the great presentation. And I appreciate your comments. So commissioners, I'll just read my comments and recommendations into, and then you can have your deliberation. Staff is recommending approval with provisos. We see, based on our conversations that have submitted in my comments, that most of the provisos have been met, meaning the lower level would be a crushed stone surface rather than a paved surface. And the only other provisos that I think that Dennis did not touch upon are the front awnings. I think the awnings are fine. I think they could be reconstructed in a arts and crafts style that would be more hollowed out, and I'm happy to give examples. But other than that, the approval would just be contingent on construction documents, including the location of all mechanicals and service equipment. And commissioners, I'll turn it over to you for questions, comments, and concerns. And I'm happy to bring up the examples of the examples of the awnings if you need to see them.
I've seen some pictures of the awnings, but I'd like to hear what the other commissioners have to say, because at least two of us are very familiar with this. I think, Helen, you had some concerns about the windows when we discussed this once before.
Well, I think they've done a good job of responding to those comments. I think this is definitely an improvement that simplifies and is more in keeping with the style of the building itself and of surrounding
Yeah.
properties. Can I just make a few comments though, Sharon?
Yep. Floor is yours.
And I do want to say, I think the developer has done a lot to respond to comments from that's a couple years ago, and I think that may be before Ed was on the commission. So I think he's seeing it for the first time, but for those of us who were here before. But one of the most important things is the parking. And I actually want to clarify if there are any trees that are going to be removed with the current plan, because one of our big concerns was the trees and maintaining mature trees. Are there trees that will be removed with this plan?
Yes, there is one that is to be removed, and it is this one right here. So, and that in this photo is this one, which this is actually an even more flattering photo than what it is. But if you were to step back, there's actually very little foliage on this. It is kind of the least desirable tree on the site, but we are maintaining all the ones on the corner and right along the street. So this large one on KILSYTH remains, and then all these ones at the corner remain.
Can you just point some on my screen's a little bit behind, so I just got to the
Oh,
slide.
sure.
Can you just now point out to the one that's being removed? Because somehow
Sure. Are you seeing the photo? Are you seeing the photo?
Yeah, now I'm seeing the photo of existing condition.
Perfect. Okay. So beyond the pudding stone here, this tree remains on KILSYTH. All these ones in the corner remain. The one that would get removed would be this one here.
Right.
Which is it's a little deeper in the site.
Right.
It's already kind of been heavily trimmed around the power lines, and it's and like I said, most of this foliage that you're seeing beyond is the trees beyond. It's not actually this tree. So this is kind of the least desirable tree on the site.
So we're all looking at the same tree. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just,
and that's,
just to,
That tree is clearly in decline, I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. There's, you can see the disease on the trunk here, even in this view.
So I just want to follow up from where we were before, which was at the, I think the last hearing had, the commission had recommended moving the park, in order to save trees, moving the parking over to the other, onto SELKIRK, to the other end of the property. The developer has come up with a different solution, which I don't think we thought about at the time, of splitting the parking, which I think is potentially a viable solution. I just want to read from the standards and criteria for the commissioners to think this through. Because this building is on a corner, it essentially has 2 front yards. It's like both sides face, you know, the street. And in under new construction of 11D Commission Review number 12, parking, storage, and disposal areas shall not be located in the front of the building, regardless of the location elsewhere on the property. They shall be adequately screened from public view by suitable fencing and vegetation. So because this is in a corner, and in a sense, those 2 parking spaces bent down by Lanark are in the front of the building. On the other hand, by breaking the parking, you and having it in 2 separate sites, you do kind of remove that feeling of having a parking lot as opposed to having a couple of parking spaces. But because that's that's in the criteria, I just wanted to open that to the commission and get other commissioners' view on this this new solution that's a developer is proposing. And
Good point,
I guess,
Helen.
I'm sorry, yeah, but I mean, we are appreciative of saving the trees, and that was an important, that was the point, a part of the point of it. Part of it is the visibility of the parking. It's on, you know, the front yard kind of issue, but certainly the saving the trees was a major issue, and we do appreciate this design in terms of accomplishing that. Yeah, thank you.
Is there
It's a good
currently,
point about the parking, Helen. Yeah, thank you.
so currently in front of the on SELKIRK, where the curb cut's going to be put in, there is on-street parking there currently, but not on the other street. Is that correct?
No, there's no room on Selkirk for on-street parking.
Okay.
Look, it wouldn't even fit a moped, but go ahead.
And then I did have a question about the HVAC equipment. Is it going to be screened in any sort of way, or?
Yeah, the intention is to screen it, and we're happy to supply a plan for that. There is the opportunity, you know, we do have the center is kind of a flat roof. We do have the opportunity to put it on the roof, which the commission would prefer as well. That might be, we could do that and have a hatch up from the units.
If you did that, would that be visible from the public way?
No. Well, it would be visible from, no, not from the street. It'd be visible from, say, like the 2nd or 3rd floor units across the street, but not from from the public way.
Nick, do you have a? I think this is an issue we didn't just. I don't think we could consider this before. Do you have a feeling on that for what would be appropriate?
I do. I think the design team has worked, sorry, this stupid microphone. The design team's worked really hard at coming up with this really elegant design. There are a lot of components and code requirements that would be that would need to be worked on the roof if we're going to put it on the HVAC equipment. I would recommend that they go on the ground and that they have to provide a planting plan with their final construction documents. So I would probably prefer or recommend screening on the lower levels. I would hate to tinker with the design because I think we're getting very close to a really great project. So I would recommend that they're on the locations that Dennis pointed out when he was describing it when I asked him.
Okay. And then just that kind of that meeting that requirement that they should be adequately screened, but from public view by suitable fencing or vegetation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And is there currently a plan for where the garbage is going to be located?
Yeah, we're anticipating putting that right here, so be in front of those condenser units. So we'll have to screen that as well.
Thank you.
And Dennis, I'm sure you know this, but this will need all on the final documents when submitted for the final approval. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Have all of the commissioners voiced their views? Kirsten, would you like to add anything? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I don't have anything in addition to those comments.
Kirsten, I'm interested to know if you feel comfortable with the new parking plan where there is parking on the Lanark in front of that Lanark elevation, but where it does break it into the two.
Yeah, I really defer to those of you who live in the neighborhood, not being familiar. I do agree that overall this looks much better than the last time around.
Well, if that's the case, shall we move on to the public comment?
Great idea.
All right, in that case then. Members of the public will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. We will repeat these instructions throughout the hearing. We suggest 5 minutes in order to allow all participants to air their views.
Okay. So Sharon, I'm going to go ahead and read several emailed comments in first, and then we'll take
Okay.
the folks in the chat after that. So the first email I received is from Alan Lunn. Alan said, "Hi Nick, I want to send over some comments regarding one SELKIRK project that I believe will be scheduled for Aberdeen. So I understand the Aberdeen cannot change the size of the project, but it can make it nicer in terms of materials and landscaping. Along this line, I wonder if there is a solution for the trash storage. Their plan may have completely ignored this issue, which means that trash cans, recycling bins, and old furniture could be stored in front." Let's see. And that's it. So that's it for that comment there. It sounds like we already addressed that. And then let's see here. Another comment from Phil, PT Boston at Comcast.Phil Tackle, who said something similar about the trash. And they also had some concerns about the parking on both sides of the property. And then, okay, so that's all we have for written comments. I believe there's a comment from Ava, who's here. I'll let her address them in person. So you said 5 minutes, Sharon?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ava, go ahead. You have 5 minutes. Oh. Go ahead, Ava. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Since the slide shows the front facades, it's a personal preference, so I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but I think that houses that have gables, they echo the earlier homes in the neighborhood, and all those houses with gables and wooden exterior, they usually had 6/1 windows, and those 2/1 windows strike me as very modern. And I frankly like the previous doors better, because the current doors, half of them is just plain glass, and it's just going to be too transparent, leading right into people's living space. So, but I leave it up. It's just if it was my project, I would have had 6 or at least 4/1 windows, and front doors that have more mountains. But can you show the site plan that shows the pedestrian circulation around the, yeah. So I'm comforted that the developer is planning a space for trash on that next to the unit number 4, but there is no paved pathway that would allow to roll the garbage into the street, nor there is any access to that trash from the back door or the front door. And there is no connection from the front doors of those townhouses to SELKIRK. And obviously, not everyone who will be coming to those houses will be coming by car. So people who will be leaving the house on foot and want to go to the street, they would have to be walking over what I assume would be grass, which would be like always flattened and exposed dirt. So I just think that there is a need for additional paths to allow to people access to the trash area, to allow the trash cans and recycling cans to be rolled to the curb. If there is going to be a curb, I'm not sure, but that trash will have to be picked up on SELKIRK Road, and you all know how tight it is over there. So, and provide paved pedestrian access to each of those 4 doors. Because, we want this place to look kind of sharp and well taken care of. And if there's just dirt there, people will be walking on dirt and dragging dirt to their homes, and it just will be looking slovenly. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Ava.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Next we have Gabriella. Go ahead.
Yeah, I live at 123 KILSYTH, right down the road. I think it's 2 houses away, and I just wanted to voice my support for this project. I really like the design changes that were made. I'm happy to see that, the parking has been split up. I think that it's been really thoughtfully designed and will be a nice addition to the neighborhood.
Terrific. Thank you, Gabby. All right. I'm not seeing any other public comment, Commissioner, so I will turn it back to you. For further discussion and a motion.
Okay, this closes the public comment portion of this review. So, I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, Helen.
After we went to public comment, I remembered there was something else in staff comments that we did not address. And that was the style. I also want to make a comment about Eva's comment, but about the style of the side, I think, were the side lights, which the developer did say they changed, but I think in the staff comments, it was noted they still seem like a little too modern, and there maybe should be something that kind of have a little more of an arts and crafts type feel was a recommendation.
Sorry, you mean the awnings?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Should I put the examples I was thinking of on the screen? Yes, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Dennis, I'm just going to stop your sharing for just a moment here.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see here. Okay. Oops, sorry. Screen. This one. There we go. So obviously it doesn't have to be these exact materials, but a style like this, and it seems like this, yeah.
Okay.
So something with an open, so that the bracket that projects from the wall would be open instead of solid is essentially what it seems to me that you're recommending.
Yes.
Am I understanding?
Exactly.
Correctly?
Yes. Yes.
a more simple wood bracket.
Yes, precisely.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing those photos.
And Dennis, I'm happy to give these. I can send these over to you for reference if you'd like. If the
I'm
commission
gonna
decides
I'm gonna
yeah.
screenshot it right now.
Yeah. I just want to add one more thing. Having been on a bus as well as a car in that neighborhood, moving the two of the parking spaces to the upper end of the buildings is a vast improvement. It increases the sight lines and makes it a lot easier for anybody to navigate around that corner. You've probably seen how tight it is, and I had some concerns the last time that it was going to be awfully congested with 4 cars and whatever trees were remaining and two-way traffic. So thank you for addressing that. And I like the other alterations as well.
Mhm.
So if that's all, sorry, Helen, you wanted to
Yes.
say?
Sorry, I wanted to comment on Eva's comment. This is, I think, sort of a little out of our purview, but when Eva's comment about like the walkways leading to the doorways, I'm thinking about like, is that going to be an issue for mail delivery? And again, that's sort of out of our purview. It's more of a practical thing for the developer to think about. But the way the front entrances connect or don't connect to a walkway in front of the building.
Helen, the use is out of our purview, but the design that would go, I mean, having a request to have an access point from the street, that is a design purpose, and that would be under our purview. So you may want to consider that. And I think that would be an easy ask.
So, so can we just, I don't want to hold things up too much, but can we just sort of discuss that with the developer? If you could give us his thoughts on, you know, it's sort of a practical matter, but as Nick says, it's also a design matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it certainly makes sense to maybe connect those two kind of pathways. So it's continuous as a, we have to kind of thread the needle around that tree a little bit, and then have one more connection over on SELKIRK. I think that makes perfect sense, and we'd be glad to show that and provide that with the landscaping plan that we provide to the commission.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Sharon, now I think.
Yeah, well, I'd also like to recommend that part be submitted to staff for final review.
And Sharon, whenever you guys decide, also the tree protection plan.
Oh, yeah. I just assumed the tree protection plan, but you're right.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, then, right, landscaping. Well, Ed, would you like to construct the motion and we will encourage you along?
I think you might have a better grasp on the motion than I do.
All right, well, let me go ahead then. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the plan as proposed with provisos, and the provisos would include protect the trees.
A plan to protect the trees?
A plan to protect the trees, yeah.
Specifically, I think we need to say during construction.
During construction, yeah, protected trees during construction.
Sidewalks?
Yeah, sidewalks, the sidewalk alteration, the design of it. And I'm just quickly reading my notes.
The screening of the mechanical and garbage.
And the final screening of the mechanical and the trash locations, preferably by something planted.
And the awnings?
Finally, yes, thank you. The awnings. I've got notes all over the place here. The awnings, subject to the sample that we saw that was more arts and crafts in style. The brackets looked much more suitable for that location and the neighborhood.
And construction documents. Just
okay.
final construction documents to staff.
And submitting the final construction for review by staff.
Helen,
Someday
you got
I'll learn
anything?
to be succinct.
Nick, do we need to request that the developer submit samples of the exterior materials to you?
That's up to you.
Would you like to add that, Helen?
Yeah, because it's a huge, big new project. I think that it's just
Okay,
good to have.
Great. Yeah.
good.
Not us to reconvene, but staff review, to make sure
Yes.
that
Good point.
what has been presented to us.
Yeah.
And then,
And again, and the landscaping plan for review, which could include the walkways.
perfect.
Okay, so we've got approved with the provisos.
So, yep. So that I have all that written down. So if someone
You
just
have
wants
it
to-
all. Okay, then I don't
So
need to
let's
go
do-
over it again.
Yeah.
All right.
We just need a
Anyone
second.
willing to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Kirsten?
Aye.
Okay, the motion is approved.
Okay, Dennis, just some small changes. I think you guys did a good job, and I don't have to have Jeff yell at me. So,
Thank you, Commission, and thank you, Nick, for your help.
Well, thank you for your cooperation.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Have a good afternoon.
thanks, guys.
All right. Okay, we will move on to 40. Our last application is 26.0723, 46 Chiswick Road. Replace defective window lintels on the front elevation. Rebuild bulging bricks above the window location. Brick and mortar to match in kind.
And just so you guys know, because I know Helen is very astute to what's going on in the neighborhood, I did authorize an emergency work permit for this because there were some really serious conditions that the applicant showed me. So the work has started on this already.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you notice that?
No, I have not been on that street recently, so I actually did not notice it.
Okay. All right. And then public comment, Sharon, for this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's move on to public comments.
Seeing none.
In that case, then I'm going to close the public comment period. And back to this. Now, you've already started authorizing emergency work on this, which is totally understandable. This seems to be in compliance with standards and regulations.
Yes.
Is there anything we need to add to what we've already seen?
I think we just need a motion.
In that case, then, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept it as presented.
So moved.
Okay, Kirsten, thank you. Anyone second?
I'll second it.
Okay, good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion is carried.
Beautiful. All right. So just some quick staff updates, just general updates about the commission, the department. We have new landmarks that are designated and about to be designated. So the first one is the Bussey House, which is over in Dorchester Lower Mills.
Cool.
That's this house down here. This dates, I believe, to the early 19th century. So that is about to become an official Boston landmark. And then we have two properties that are up for a vote in the coming month or so. One being the Copley Plaza Hotel over in Back Bay, and the other being Memorial Hall, which is this building right here down in Charlestown.
Yeah.
So if any of you are interested in reading those study reports, they're on our website. Feel free to go there, and you're welcome to submit a public comment. But those will be new landmarks coming very soon.
Wow.
So yeah. So that's it. That's all I have for public or staff updates. Yeah, thanks for the really productive meeting. That was really great and efficient.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on it.
Well, some projects will be more difficult than others, so
We're ready for them.
Yeah.
All right. And I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll put forth the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you so much, commissioners. We will see you next month, and you know how to reach me if you need me, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Do we need to vote on the motion to adjourn or?
Oh, yeah. All in favor of
Yeah.
this, right?
Or all in favor,
Aye.
yes.
Thanks. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Great, thank
Thanks,
you.
Nick. You
Bye.
too. Good night, everyone.